So, welcome to Master Powercast. We're going to be taking a look at episode 6 of She-Ra Princess of Power, Duel at Devlan, featuring one of my personal favorite Horde members, Dial-A-Mug. He's a character, much as you'll see at the beginning of this episode, the setting that they're in, I would clearly walk in there, sit down. I feel like I could have a good time with this guy. No?
He is the ultimate asshole.
I think him and I would get along really good. I really do.
Yeah, I think you too definitely would. I definitely like, man, I'd have a fucking problem because my history of him goes all the way back to childhood. Because I had a put off and also creeped out vibe about him as a kid because I didn't know what the fuck he was. I saw him for the first time on this VHS tape, which is one of the high dollar VHS tapes because it has 5 episodes on it. So to me, this is like hitting the jackpot. I used to rent this one a lot from King Video back in the day, and you can see there's Seahawk taking on Catcher and a worried She-Ra in the background there, which I thought, man, this guy's fucking awesome. A lightsaber pirate sword, fucking awesome. And there's some what looks like on the back, and the 5 episodes listed, which were the Seahawk, Return of the Seahawk, Duel at Devlan, The Reluctant Wizard, and Stone and the Sword. So, and that's a hard tape to come by. So if you come across an eBay, snatch it up. But I didn't know what he was because to me he looked like a robot, but like the brown face. I'm like, is he human like? And the voice, everything. And once we get into it, I can explain like why I was so creeped. I was creeped out by him, but I thought he was such a fucking prick. And not like I loved the Horde and the Evil Wars because they were so cool. Like this guy was an asshole, and I did not like him at all. Like I fucking hated him. The only He-Man character I can say that I hated as a kid, not because he sucked, because he was such a fucking prick as a child. Now I put him in my top tier Horde members, like right next to Modulok. I fucking loved. I mean, hell, he's on this T-shirt here. You want a T-shirt Dial-A-Mug on it? Go to TeePublic.
Shame we didn't get more Dial-A-Mug. But once again,
no, we did not. He shows one other episode, and it's the drizzling shits.
What episode?
He's turned into the Shades of Orko, and he turns into a fucking moron. He's scratching his head. His voice is different, for the worst. And I don't know why he comes off as such a wonderfully written asshole in this. Like what the Horde should completely embody, and nah, we're gonna dumb it down, for the girls and some of the boys that are watching this, and we'll make it more Barbie-like. Yeah. It's just like what. That's something I would love to ask the people of Filmation or anyone. Like, why did you guys start it so strong with the tone, and then turn it into, let's brighten it up for the little girls who are going to be combing their She-Ra's hair, their figure's hair and shit like that. Like, okay, you were making plenty of money with the boys. Why is the girls' cartoon that you said that you're going to mark that the girls are watching He-Man? Let's make one that's more girl-centric, but we want the boys to watch too. But let's dumb it down for the girls and the boys. Hope we're going to make more of this.
It seems across the board, not just with He-Man, She-Ra, but a lot of these other cartoons, they have a tendency to dip in quality in that regard.
And I don't know why, because I feel like some of them, they have so many long streaks of consistency. I mean, you look at Ghostbusters season 1 and 2. Brave Star was consistently pretty steady for the most part. The first season, He-Man for the most part, half part of season 1. She-Ra season 1 starts out quite strong as well with the consistent tone of, it's not, fluffy episodes about, strictly girly stuff, that anybody can watch it, and what we're going to talk about tonight is a prime example. This is not an episode targeted towards just girls. Mm-hmm. Like it's a female-led cast, and she's kicking ass and taking names, and you got these kick-ass villains that both boys and girls can sit together side by side. Like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool.
But I would argue that there are a couple of very lighthearted moments in it,
and He-Man has its share of lighthearted moments as well. But I feel like the backbone of this episode is dealing with real enemies, real villains, mm-hmm. and they're not dumbed down. Like they're real pricks, and the best possible way that you could depict a bully or a threatening horde of robots that is not, upset censors and go against what Filmation, is trying to, maintain a certain standard with children's television.
Yeah.
So, but
let's get into it. Season 1, episode 6, Duel at Devlan, written by Stephen J. Fisher, directed by Bill Reed. Let's go ahead and put some of that trivia down there at the bottom of the screen. So we start off moonlit night. You get a good panning shot here, and then all of a sudden you hear the commotion, the loudness going on
at the Laughing Swan Inn, which is featured in Secret of the Sword for people who remain. Just a little bit of trivia. It's the same bar that Adam wanders in and has his first encounter with the Horde Troopers and meets Bo.
Oh, there you go. And then we pan over to this little house, and here's Tyler waking up all disheveled. He's angry. It's too loud outside. This man is trying to get his quality rest. So he decides to walk in. And I love the fact we're getting the saloon, the swinging doors.
This has a big Western feel to it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And this moment when this guy is yelling and all of a sudden this hulking robot comes stomping over, what the fuck is this? And the voice that George DeCenzo uses, where it has this kind of almost like a fucked up radio voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very distinct robotic voice, but it always made me sound like a old radio voice, like somebody speaking through like an old radio.
Mm-hmm.
And that look of, and knowing what Dial-M-Bug was designed to be as a toy, and they never used that in the 2 episodes he's in. Like the disc would rotate and show different emotions. They don't use that at all. Like the emotions are on it, but this profile of him picking up. I feel like I'm talking right over all this.
No.
Yeah, the local is screaming at them to cut the shit out, and Dial-M-Bug says, "Then why don't you join the party?" And just picks him up and pulls him in. And the profile of him carrying this little villager on his side, and he's just like completely like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And throws him up on the table and says, "Dance for a citizen."
I don't know how.
And it's like, oh, well, then it's time you learn how, and just starts firing laser shots at his feet on the table.
And the Horde Troopers are having a good laugh about it. They got their pies there.
Which, if anyone's wondering, what have Horde Troopers done with pies? Well, this is back when the Horde Troopers were initially going to be human. Because they're even given certain names. Even in Secret of the Sword, they were originally going to be men in armor. Mm-hmm. And not just robots.
And you have to keep in mind here, being episode 6, we were very early on in that process.
Yeah.
Still.
And this is the first episode after Secret of the Sword completes. Like the rebellion isn't still in it's in its infancy on a theory. And now we're going to see like a small situation here in the small town of Devlan of like, okay, really establish like the Horde's presence in just a small town, let alone kingdoms and the stretch that the Fright Zone has over the planet.
And this is when we are introduced to the owner, Darius, and his family, and his daughter, Kristalla, who's going to take center stage, essentially, throughout the rest of this episode. And she sees this, everyone, you need to say something. You need to go ahead and make this stop. Darius decides to walk up and
ask them politely to leave.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, my God, you just asked Horseman to leave the bar? And Dial-M-Bug, they all just turn and look, and the poor little local is just like, I'm having a wonderful time. Darius says, it's cool, it's fine. And just look at his laugh is what really I hated his laugh, because it was such a real bully laugh to me as a kid, and as an adult, I fucking love his laugh. I relish when Dial-M-Bug laughs in this episode, man. It's menacing.
I wasn't paying attention to up here on the upper
all the
left.
wiring.
Yeah. Well, just how this one's not connected.
Yeah, he's got some broken wires and stuff, which are nice little touches. Like he's still functioning and everything. There's nothing wrong, nothing jarring about his inner workings or anything like that. It's just nice little details that he's been through some bad, like the wiring on top. Some of them are kind of, not fully connected. It's a great detail, I think, with the character. All these various bulbs and things like that, like they're not shown to function or do anything. I'm sure there is a purpose for it, almost as if he were to rotate his emotions, you can see the blink, 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 but we don't get that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Or I would like to have it would have been fun to have seen those animated as he's talking. So it's not like to a degree, maybe it's sort of maybe just a visualization of his brain firing off.
Yeah.
But I understand why you wouldn't want to keep doing that in animation consistently, especially around this time. That was probably a big pain in the ass, but just shoves the pie right in his face.
And tells him that cream's looking a little flat. I think it needs to be whipped, and starts making him dance to laser fire as well. And Crystalla is not going to allow her father to be embarrassed like that, and walks right up to Dial and Mug and tells him to leave him the fuck alone. And that when she shoves the pie in his face, and the Horde Troopers laugh, and her mother's like, "Go back to your room, please," and Dalman just smiles. Like, that is just like, he's not bothered. Like, he just thinks it's funny that these people are trying to stand up to us. Like, all right, you know what? We've had enough fun for tonight. We're gonna, like, it's just rubbing salt in the wound of what a real bully would do when anyone weak tries to stand up to him. Like, he just laughs at it. And it's like, we'll be back.
It takes the very best of what we would sort of go on to see in the Westerns that you and I champion a lot in Tombstone and Quick and the Dead, where the villains are very much just like this, where they're confronted in a certain way and they just laugh it off because they know that this is no threat to them at all. So then after we have this scene, we transition over, and at this point we have the Twiggets who are here. We have Spragg, Spratina, and Sprocker.
Yeah, which I like them. I think all three of them. They're fun equivalents to the Widgets.
Yeah, I have no issues with them. And then we have Frosta making her first Filmation appearance
this
here.
This was my introduction to her as a kid. And like, outside of seeing her in like the opening credits, like, oh my God, like I was in love with her. As much as I was with Adora / She-Ra, like Frosta, I was just foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
As a kid, I'm like, oh my God, she's so fucking hot. Like, I wanted to have the figure of her so bad. I'm like, that's a girl's toy. I can't. I'm not a girl.
So as you see here, we have a sled going. We have Frosta here, so you can kind of start to piece together and what exactly is about to happen. And it's like,
she's gonna give Sprocker a chance to sleigh ride in Whispering Woods, just like that.
Which is that would be awesome. I would love to have that. Cool.
Yeah. The weather's still warm outside, and you can go sleigh riding.
Yeah, Frosta is really hot though.
Oh God! But even the Filmation staff were just like, it's. That's why Sweet Bee's home was written the way that it was. I think it was the status quo was like, we all think Frost is the hottest, and she is. But I mean, there's not an ally of She-Ra's that's not Spinnerella, Natasha, Sweet Bee.
That's true.
Cassis. So they're all these fucking hot chicks. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't write He-Man. It's just like banging Fearless Beaver. It's got to be him hanging out with all these babes.
I got it. That'll be the next Kumite, but it's not them fighting. It's just us trying to determine which one is the hottest of the bunch.
I mean, like, I just by default, like, I'm always going to go Frost because I have such a long history. But I look at like Mermista, Spinnerella, Sweet Bee. Like, oh my God, like in Cassis fella, like. She's another.
That's what we'll do. We'll bring. We need to bring James and Tom on. That way, we have more than just us to kind of determine.
That would make a great. Oh my God! You know what? That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and we'll throw in some of the Horde women as well, like Entrapta, Catra, Scorpia. Even.
Let's determine the hottest woman on Etheria.
Yeah.
So while we have the sleigh ride going on,
I see Lookie.
Yeah, there's Lookie. There he is.
And so this is just to introduce Frosta. She's not going to have any kind of real big play in an episode until a little later down the road.
So as she pieces out, at this point, we're going to have Madame Raz, and they all decide, hey,
time for breakfast.
So
Which I did like this as a kid, because Madame Raz making breakfast, and of course, who doesn't love breakfast? I'm sure there's pancakes.
There's probably someone that.
Well, I know one of my buddies I work with. He does not eat breakfast because he doesn't like breakfast food. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
So the first attempt here, we have some eggs that are breaking over the heads. At this point, Bo's woken up. I kind of wonder, breakfast time, but I wonder what time exactly it is for Bo. I see Bo as more of a character that would wake up around noon.
Yeah, I could see that because he's got his ego and wanting to gallivant with the ladies and
spends his night out trying to get chicks and getting drunk. I would say.
Yeah, I could see him definitely doing a lot of that. But Bo stays in shape. So he may go to bed at a respectable time unless like I said, there's he's hanging out in Beaver Valley, for quite a bit there.
So but he is also susceptible to getting egg on his head.
And Cal's there to whoop it up and make fun of him, and then boom,
as Cal does.
Yep, egg right on Cal's face, as you can kind of see right above him there. I love Cal. I just love seeing his presence. He's such a comforting little like sidekick character on the show that's never irritating. I love his design. I love Lou Scheimer's voice as Cal. I would love to work him into Kevin's illustrations or something like that.
All right. Well, in terms of just that sidekick-esque character, is it Orko all the way, or
Orko all the way? Orko is my number one because I have but Cal would be a very strong second. Like in terms of like very likable characters, like they're both intelligent, they're both in on the secret, and you're glad that they are. Like they're it also goes to on who's right, but Cal's never written like Orko where he's so inconsistent. Like Cal's a smart ass to Bo, but he does care about She-Ra and Adora and helping out, and he has his moments from time to time. But Orko is it just depends on who's writing. I mean, it's like they don't seem to stick to one personality with this character. Like, okay, yeah, sure, it's magic and screw it from time to time, but you guys write him like sometimes like he's 5 years old and like this is the same guy who grew up with Adam. Maybe Trollin's aged differently, but he's not 5 years old. Like he is. I always see him as an adult Trollin, like a young adult Trollin, as someone who well, hell, if you start breaking it down even more seriously, he arrives as Orko the Great from Tralla, so he's not a child. And yet, someone who grew up with Adam, as we see in Creatures of the Tar Swamp, is still written like he's 5 years old. Like,
it's called failure to launch, Tyler. That's the terminology for it. But the eggs aren't working out. So Madam Red's like, pancakes.
Which I love that. Who doesn't love a good pancake?
Yeah, pancakes are great. But this one is entirely too big, as you can see in the shadow work, encompasses all of them and then drops down and covers everyone up. They have a good laugh about it, which, why wouldn't you?
And Sprague's like, hey, you forgot the syrup. And sure enough, he gets syrup right on his head.
Yeah. At this point, Adora is like, let's go ahead and make our rounds. So we get our transformation sequence. And she's well on her way to start checking shit out and see how things are going, if there's any trouble anywhere. At this point, we have Kristalla, who's going to go on her way to seek help to help everyone in Devlan and get these guys out of here.
And she's trying to find a way to Bright Moon to find the rebellion and comes across, which to kind of piggyback off our discussion on Talent for Trouble, like wondering why would a hay transport be hanging around the fright zone? Well, here's a prime example of the Horde, picking up hay, and why there would be a hay transport in the episode Talent for Trouble. If someone ever wonders, like, why would hay just be kind of happen to be around? Like, well, here's a reason why the Horde, they're taking all resources. We don't know, and they could be using it to make bread to sell to the people of the planet.
I could see it also too as taking over the land here from a farmer, using this, and then upcharging it to sell it back to him for him to be able to sell. But when he sells it, he has to give them the money back. Yeah. So this is referred to here on the wiki page as the Horde Auto Reaper. Yeah. But it's like the Horde Troopers, I love the conversation that they're having here. It's like, just go ahead and turn it on. It knows what to do.
Yeah, we're going to get some grub.
Yeah. Which I like to think that in their scenario, sure, you could just push a button and go fuck off. But I would imagine if any trouble, like if I were in their position, I probably wouldn't want to go do that because who wants to feel the wrath of Dial-a-Mug or maybe like
Shadow
Leech,
Weaver,
any of them, yeah, any of them that are posted up that are the ones in charge. And it's if you're not having to deal with them, they could even threaten you with, we're not going to do anything to you, but Hordak will. It's like, I would just try to be the best trooper that I could be, I think, even though they are evil and terrible people.
And it's, I mean, which I feel like they're often written as like very, very intimidated by the pecking order of the Horde, whether whoever, which normally is Catra. Catra is always depicted as the Force Captain. You have Shadow Weaver, and then you got Hordak, because everyone else kind of seems to be following Catra as Shadow Weaver's lead. That includes Grizzlor, Leech, Montana. Modulok sometimes kind of operates on his own or right with Hordak. Like you'll see Modulok kind of doing his own thing from time to time. But yeah, it's normally, it's everyone's pretty much living in fear, a robot or not.
So as that's going on, Kristalla walking around, I could see this happening given how her height and how tall this hay has grown. So as it's going on, we you see a good angle shot here. This Auto Reaper barreling towards her, kind of unknowingly at first. At this point, She-Ra takes notice of it, and we have to go down and we have to save her. I think we get a commercial break right around this part too. But I love the fact how this is animated, how it's very Superman-esque. She's pops, drops, and then like just stops it, dead stop.
They may have even pulled the sequence out of Superman 3 where Superman saves Lana Lang's little boy in that. I think it's in a cornfield of some kind.
It could be, but I have never watched Superman 3 in its entirety.
I haven't either to this day. It's always been chunks. And as a kid, it was more about, I wanted to see evil Superman fight Superman. I'm like, oh, it's just Clark Kent fighting evil Superman. This sucks. You know? And some people still say I think it's people who like it, who watched it as nostalgia as kids. Like they can still see some of the merits about the film. Because outside of, 1 and 4, like 3's been chunks. I've seen most of 2. 2's got some good stuff in it, but then some of it is just like, because I didn't grow up with 2. So when I see Superman throw out the cellophane Superman symbol over Zod, I'm like, I'm like,
but also on the other side of that, you grew up with Superman 4.
Oh,
and people fucking hate that. And much like the live action Masters movie, you grew up with it, and there's a good portion of people out there that hate it for its various reasons.
I see that is a completely different situation, because when I realize people hate it, because they're only going by, they look at the visual, doesn't look like the toy, I'm turning it off. Or Superman 4 is plagued with problems due to Canon's inadequacy to make a big budget movie like that.
True.
Whereas like even though they're supposedly financing a He-Man movie, and they're not. They're distributing it, with Warner Brothers. The people that were making the live action He-Man were trying to make a really good live action He-Man movie with dealing all these problems with Mattel, like you can't do this and you can't do that. And again, it's something what we can come back to and dig a little deeper on at a later date. But
well, I would like to mention before we go back in to Duel at Devlan here is the 4K for the live action movie got announced, and that label that I was telling you about, it's a newer label, but it's under the umbrella of Arrow Video.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is allegedly due out September, I think is what I was seeing.
I'm kind of upset we weren't asked to do like a commentary track for that.
Like that would ever happen, but we'll just have to make a new one.
Well, I don't want some like dipshit influencer who's like sole purpose like shitting on 80s stuff. Like, I'm here to do a shitty commentary on a shitty movie.
No, they wouldn't do that and put it on a disc. They wouldn't purposely do that. They've never done that with any movie.
What's funny now, because of that Abomination that's coming out very, very soon, and
less than a week as of this recording, less than a week.
that more videos are popping up about the 87 movie. And I'm thinking, okay, are you guys just doing this for content, or you motherfuckers trying to sit there and say, oh, I think maybe we were judging this movie too much. Like, maybe after you see this piece of shit, you're starting to realize, like, why did it take you so fucking long to realize to begin with? And this piece of shit has to make you realize, okay, these guys are taking this stuff seriously. These assholes are not.
Anyway, with that 4K coming out, there's going to be that. I think they're calling it an extended cut, like a preview cut. So there's going to be some extended scenes and stuff. So it's going to be, hopefully that'll be some good shit that no one's ever really seen before. Because haven't there been a few things that have trickled out over the years of like extended scenes and
there's
such?
just been pictures.
Okay,
really, that's all I've ever seen. And there's snippets in the trailer, like the TV spot, and one of the trailers where you see He-Man up atop the junkyard, and he's like stopping, like he's being stopped by something with his power sword. And one of the promotional pictures is him and Blade fighting on an upper level of the junkyard. I have a picture. I have an 8x10 of that. Actually, I have it right over there on display. And I hate that I didn't ask Anthony DeLongis about it, or Dolph, when I talked to them both.
Yeah, Dolph, you guys just thought, he's like, hey, you're looking good, and it's like, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, well, and they're telling me, like, you got 3 minutes, kid, and then I start to realize if you get along with them, they prolong the time. And Dolph kept doing this, and I assumed that was a signal to the person who's recording. Okay, you don't have to cut it just yet. Like these little nods.
Yeah.
After doing so many of those, I'm like, okay, if they get along with you and say, okay, you're not a fucking weirdo who breathes heavy, I'll talk to you. And I think that's what it was, because he was so engaging with me, as opposed to like, okay, move on to the next one, move on to the next one, move on, so I can go home and be with my hot wife.
Go watch all. This is COVID times. Go check out Tyler's interview series. All those are on the channel. There's a playlist too if you just want to put that on. Some good shit in there, dude.
Yeah, and Nathan, I was still taking. Nathan still thinks like those were so entertaining, and like the one Frank Welker was
Frank Welker is the best one out of all of them.
That's so cool that you say that.
Honorable mention to the Mark Singer one.
I knew you were gonna bring that up, dude.
Oh, your wife died? It's like, what? No,
I had a dog who looked like the Beastmaster's dog.
Oh, sorry about your wife. I got a good chuckle out of that. Oh, it's so good. But go check those out on the channel. Going back to Duel Devlan here, She-Ra chucks the shit out of this thing into a boulder, absolutely wrecks it. At this point, she takes Crystalla because she makes mention, this was my plan to do this. It's like, oh, well, hop on, kid. We'll go for a ride.
We'll take you back to and let you speak with the rebellion here, like what we can do to help you out there. So she gives her story to Madame Raz and the west of the Twiggets. Already had the wig in there. So,
and the Twiggets are all, hey, yeah, let's go do this. At this point, though, She-Ra's like, well, wait a second. Let's see what we can do with the people that are there first before we all dive in and jump to
and make it more about our group having to run around and constantly have to defend everybody. We're not going to rebel unless everyone's in this together, which is absolute logic.
That's a smart way of thinking about it. And because you have to start to think, as this draws out longer and longer and the other territories are either occupied by the Horde or about to be, these people need to stand up for themselves after a certain point, because if the rebellion's continually going and bailing out, like, I understand that viewpoint. If I were in that scenario and I'm looking at that, I'm like, are these people ever going to do anything for themselves? Are we constantly going to have to keep jumping in there? And at some point, you have to, and that would be a good character thing to dig into, is, if they're not fending for themselves, I'm not jumping in this time. And then something really devastating happens and they have to carry on that guilt of the one time that I give in to this happens. I can never do this again. There's a lot to play around with.
You would really have to base it on the magnitude of the Horde attack. Because if we're talking, Dial-a-Mug should be seen as a really serious fucking threat. I mean, I like to envision him as like, if I was he's not, because this is Filmation's take. Because Modulite does not show up till Gateway to Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to think, in my own personal mythology, is that once Modulite shows up and introduces Hordak to the advancements of technology and what you can do in creating Horde troopers, Dialog is like the first AI robot he creates, like its own intelligence of like it's programmed to be evil, enforce the rules and regulations of the Horde, but have his own personality and chooses to be this maniacal being, this robot that just lives to just humiliate people, take and beat them down, take from them, and what the fuck was I going with that? I just fuck, damn it!
Come on, man.
All right, there's another.
Rein it back in.
God. But that's how I would always like to view him, as like someone who is just not just a robot, not just a tin can Horde trooper you can just dispose of. Like this is a guy that has a very high level of intelligence and can, look at a situation, and just not just be, someone who can be smashed over the head real quick and then pushed to the side, like someone that would give She-Ra or He-Man like a fitting match. Then he could sit there and struggle with him like in a Greco-Roman knuckle lock or something like that, and maybe bring one to their knees for a moment.
Yeah, test of strength, brother.
Yeah, just that's just something I'd like to envision with him doing. That he's not just that he would that he's like Multibot comes first because he's modeled after Modulite, but then Dialog is like the first like programmed like robot that can think for itself, and that's where I was going with this, that he should be held in high regard as like one of the top tier horsemen like Grizzlor, Leech, Montana, like you would have kind of a pecking, but I feel like they're all specialists too with the Horde. That the Grizzlor is like the gatekeeper of the fright zone in terms of like the prisoners. That's what he's supposed to be, but you don't see him do that except in episode 2, Beast Island. He just sits there and pounding on a controller. No. I'm like, oh god, this is not how I want to see Grizzlor depicted right now. Anyway, we'll get back to this. I'm going wait on.
No, I'm glad you came back around to your thought.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, I just was on a roll and I hit I went off the cliff.
Yeah. So while Kristalla has gone on her journey to Bright Moon to find the rebellion to get some help, we go back to Devlan after this little sequence here. I think, right? Yes. At this point, Darius is looking for her because, you also have to think, like, how long has she been gone? We don't really get, like, a good timetable here of how much time has passed.
I would like to think Kristalla probably left in the morning.
And this is probably, like, 2, 3 o'clock.
Early to late afternoon, like 5, 6 o'clock. And,
yeah.
You're like, given that Devlin has been hit by the Horde multiple times, as we're getting ready to see, here's this biker gang of a horsemen come rolling into town again.
Yeah, this is what we used for the intro for this episode.
Actually, no, it was the segment.
The second time around.
Yeah, when they come back into town.
No, when they come back in. Yes.
Yeah, which the visual dialogue on these Horde cycles, I don't know what they're technically called, but they're equivalent of like in motorcycles, like they're a biker gang almost.
Yeah.
And what always threw me as a kid is when they pull up and see Darius, and Dialog is talking with a Horde trooper voice as opposed to Dialog. And what happened was that Dialog was not written into the scene just yet, so a Horde trooper speaking in his place before Dialog was actually placed into the story. So
yeah, easily forgivable. It's one of these things.
Yeah. As a kid, like, that's not his voice, but he's still an asshole.
Yeah, it's fun to point that stuff out. We talk about when you and I do Ninja Turtle stuff. It's always fun just seeing animation errors. That's not the voice of that turtle. What are they doing here? But yeah they go ahead, freeze Darius, and it's just like, well.
After they tell him, like, it's like, you're the innkeeper. Oh, well, you're looking for your daughter. Well, she'll make a fine horsewoman someday, which pisses Darius off. And they're like, oh, fuck you bartender. And then just freeze him and move right on past him.
Yeah, and this would be devastating to me as they're flying down. It's like, oh, it looks like something's frozen down there. And go and take a look.
It's your dad. Darius,
But I love how she was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking karate kick this thing. It's just like a drop kick almost. Just
the way She-Ra is animated with her kicks in this show is like that. This is a great. My favorite is the roundhouse when she like in Talent for Trouble, especially when she roundhouse kicks Hordak out of the fuck Hurricane kicks him the fuck out of the fright zone.
Is that the one that was used in the Fans Power intro?
Yes. Yeah. Which that particular kick is used a few times in the series.
So she kicks it, breaks the fuck out of it, and it's just like, what happened?
And we'll get you back to town. And as they come back to the town, Dial-a-Mug is issuing the order for today is simple.
Go get all of your valuables and bring them here to the center of the
square, and we'll be back later to collect them. And they're all like, no, fuck you. And they're like, silence.
I didn't look. Oh, sorry. I interrupted. Go ahead. Finish quote the episode.
It's like, silence, or we will reduce your town to rubble like this. And destroys this awesome statue here.
Yeah, I didn't look in the trivia portion for that. Is there any significance that you know of just know? I didn't know if that was
just a very unique looking statue.
Turns it into mush.
And then laughs as they drive off with that. I wish I could laugh like that. It's just. So
I like the various emotions that you see here. Some pissed off people. You can see the worry and the sadness and some other faces. You got this guy back here in the back right looks very depressed.
Yeah, because you just feel like most of these guys have little already as it is. Because they're being bullied by the Horde, let alone being taxed by them. As one of the most common threads in the show is the heavy taxes that the Horde are putting on all the Etherians. And just how much before She-Ra shows up that these people are being taxed and to the point where probably damn near destitute. But someone have enough money to go piss away at the bar at the Laughing Swan Inn, so it can't be all that bad, right? and then She-Ra's like letting you know, like, look, I'm here to help, but if you got, and they're all like, we can't stand up till if we do that today, they'll be back tomorrow. It's like, and you'll be ready the next time as well, but. She's like, all right, you know what? You all go inside. I'll prove to you that you guys can stand up to these guys. And then Bo and Glimmer show up and see Mataraz and Sprag having a fun game of chess here, or a version of chess, I should say, of some kind. And they're asking, where's it's been a slow day. And like, well, Dora's off, how she likes to wander, but She went to go help a girl out with some Horde boys. Like, what's the name of the town? And Devlan, I like this. Like Broom leans in, Devlan. Like I just love that look on his face of his frustration trying to correct her because she's so absent-minded about things. And here we go with this epic sequence of the Horde.
This is where the intro came from,
and they come in with the awesome music and Dial-a-Mug just laughs like it's so easy to take advantage of people who are frightened. Like the entire town's treasury, everything has been like they did it.
I mean, that's a big pile of loot right there. All the gold,
and just seeing the emotions on Dial-a-Mug's face, like him just laughing and just enjoying, like almost like he's doing this all on his own. This is not under the supervision of Katra or Hordak. This is just like we are running the show. This small group is running this one town strictly for their own amusement.
I could see him doing that often.
Fuck yeah.
Like he has his orders that he takes out, but then he also just takes the extra step and maybe all this just pockets to him and doesn't go towards any Horde activities. So.
Yeah, and sending out with the rest of his gang. Yeah, sure. Though maybe we'll send some back to catch and get back to Hordak. And we'll pocket the rest for ourselves,
And that would be a fun dynamic to play with. Had you had Dial-a-Mug show up more often, or just something in the future to think about if you're trying to create stories with him.
Kevin has drawn him for me once in one illustration. Like I have a big double page spread, and it's a Horde. It's a big Horde battle with the Fright Zone, and he's in it, smiling, of course, and I'm seriously contemplating working him into the next one, because I really wanted to do like one that's just devoted to him. But my other idea I have is horde based. I'm like, let's just have Kevin draw him again. Working, he won't be the star of it, but he'll be like one of the two main villains of it. Because I'm like, Dial-M-Up deserves like his own mini comic cover, like his first confrontation with He-Man, and just he deserves that.
Look at his emotions here. Just
look at that smile. It's like, God, what an asshole.
Yeah,
right there. Like he loves what he does, and because she was like calling him out, and he's like, look, you can't beat all of us, Sheer. Like he knows who she is. But he's still like, his ego is like, nah, you're not going to do shit against us, and just dispatches all the horde troopers to go after her, and she's just taking them all out one by one,
as she does. Plus,
a
good way to show shit exploding. Good little action scene that we get here,
and all the villagers are watching, and Kristalla's giving them all shit. It's like, you guys are a bunch of pussies.
Yeah, pretty much. Like she's really the only one that's. I mean, I'll give her dad credit. He's taking the initiative.
Darius he's more level-headed about this. Like he's not a complete coward. He's starting the gears are starting to turn in him of like, yeah, we and it was like that in the beginning too. Like he's trying to be calm and smart, but it's like, look, you know what? These guys are on answer if we respond with blunt force. Mm-hmm. We can't reason with these guys because they don't look at reason. There is no reasoning with the horde.
But I mean, think about this though. Kristalla, how old is she? Maybe 11, 12?
Yeah. She's probably in her, hasn't reached a teenage level yet, but she's getting close to it.
And she's sitting here berating everyone, telling them, as you said, what pussies they're being. It's like, stand up for yourselves. Look what I went and did. I walked all the way here to bring She-Ra here.
Yeah, what did you guys do? You guys just hung out inside and just said you're going to take this shit.
Yeah.
And she runs out in the middle of the fight to warn She-Ra, and she gets, hit in the back by Dial-M-Up, because he would do an asshole thing like that. He's not going to, I want to see Dial-M-Up and She-Ra just like going fisticuffs, look at the stretch he's got.
Yeah.
Like, you just feel like, those gangly robotic fingers, man. Like, yeah, he's fucking asshole, man. He's so cool. And the villagers start coming back with barrels and sticks and bags of flour and pies, and they got what they got, and it's enough to put them in their place, and they go scattering.
Which I get why they did it the way that they did, but I'm like, I'm gonna knock it down a little bit when we get to our rating because of that.
I can't argue that, because you got other episodes where farmers are taking blunt farming tools and taking them to horde troopers. I think of the Unexpected Ally with General Sunder. Like you could have easily had the farmers like crushing and the heads of horde troopers, and Dial-M-Up is a robot. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to resort to pies and bags of flour and in kind of these Looney Tune-esque means of getting their comeuppance.
Little weak sauce.
It is, and I can't argue that. It's really about Dial-M-Up's portrayal as a real like villain, and so beautifully done that we will never ever get again. Oh, God rest his soul. Because he will never be treated that way again, unless I'm given the reins.
Who's to say? But
it ain't gonna happen.
Bo shows up. Well. Bo shows up. He's like, we missed all the fun.
Yeah, everything, and the villagers like, oh yeah, I get it now. Like, we got to cut this shit out, and I'm fully prepared to. If they come back tomorrow, we'll be ready for them. And they rejoice in one small victory for the rebellion.
Look, he's saying, "Did you see me there? I am." I don't. What do you? I don't remember what the moral was.
Talking about, he specifically says, Dial-M-Up, was acting like a real bully. And,
the bully thing.
And if if you feel like anyone's giving you any shit or any problems, don't be afraid to go and tell someone about it. Because a lot of times bullies like to pick on people that are clearly smaller than them, and the act of defending yourself doesn't always work out that way. Even if you got to be, fucking Bruce Lee to be able to overpower someone who's physically stronger than you.
Yeah.
If you're smaller, like, unless you want to hit them in the balls or something like that.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, punch him in the groin.
Yeah, it's you want to do something that's going to make them shut the fuck up, because don't you just hate it when people say, well, oh, they must come from a bad home? Like, no, a lot of bullies just enjoy being the alpha male, or at least among what they think to be the alpha male, of making others look bad and feel bad in front of them.
I wouldn't say bad home. I mean, though that could be the case in some scenarios.
Of course, but I feel like it's used a lot when I'm like,
there's definitely something. I don't think bullies just bully just to bully. There's some underlying thing going on there.
I think about what we saw and what we experienced too, of like,
you got it more than I did as a kid, to be fair. I honestly, the people
I dealt with, I don't think all came from broken homes. I think some of them just came from, I mean, at one particular instance, they were rich kids.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that can be the case sometimes, but it's definitely not all the time. I think a lot of it is, if they were rich kids, a lot of it comes with entitlement, getting everything they want, like, all the time. So that,
and having an audience. If you think you can make your friends laugh by making fun of somebody and pushing them and shoving them into a locker, and your buddies are all laughing because look how funny it is to humiliate this one guy who's minding his own damn business, and you're doing it to make your buddies laugh.
Yeah,
like, that has nothing to do with how your parents raised you, or you have some sort of chemical imbalance. Is you're enjoying the attention you're getting because everyone thinks you're so cool and you're such an alpha male, that kind of thing,
I never felt that way in high school when I was like making fun of you guys at the tape.
No, but that was based on other reasons.
Oh yeah?
Well, no, because you told me that was.
Well, yeah. Well, it's one of the things a lot of it was just, I think, me like hating myself. I'm like, well, who can I take this out on? Yeah, John, you're dumb. Let's make fun of you for a minute. Yeah, different.
But he did say a lot of dumb stuff, so a lot of that was warranted.
Yeah, a good chunk of it was just me calling people out and just like, John.
Because a lot of it was like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of truth to what Nathan's saying here. It's just like, okay, don't say anything stupid, But I think a lot of it too is people love the attention of feeling like they're top dog, and if that means coming at the expense of somebody who's minding their own damn business. One guy, and you probably know who I'm talking about, the guy who changed his name after high school because he was getting picked on so much by the preppy kids.
Mm-hmm.
All because they all thought it was funny. I guarantee none of those guys had fucked up parents, who drink dinner every night and smacked them around. It's more about they loved the reaction they got from him that made them laugh.
I think a lot of it is do it and jump in on it so you're not a part of the focus. Is, well, if they're doing it to him, then good. The focus is on him. It's not on me. Like, I'll jump in with these guys, like, because if I play good with them, then maybe I won't get any of it either, kind of thing. I don't know. People are strange
but it was always people who clearly had a weak demeanor about them. I think about the ones I observed in school. Like, yeah, it was people who were not physically imposing in any way, very meek looking. At times, not all the time. I mean, I look back at myself, like, I wasn't meek or anything like that, but for whatever reason, and a couple occasions, I'm like, I don't know what it is about me that became a target. I don't know. It was just, and knowing you can't physically take them down and put them in their place, because they will shut the fuck up with force, and you can't, if you knock them the fuck out or embarrass them that way. But when you physically can't do that. Hell, I even tried that one time with the bully. He was stronger than I was, but he did leave me alone after that.
Yeah. There was one there. Like I said, it happened to you more than it did me. I can only remember one instance, and I actually work with the guy now, and him and I are totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was in middle school, 6th grade. It happened in PE class because that was the only class we had together. And he was a bigger guy. And of course, I've always been small. I was way tinier back then. So he would pick on me, rag on me all the time. It was like, hey, you got this is when we had soda machines like down there in the locker room. And he would just be like, give me your lunch money so I can get a soda. And I like had no choice really. So I was like giving him the money. And I would even take like some extra money, or I would save some extra money just so like if I gave him what he needed, I would still have money for what I needed. Right?
You never told me that, dude.
Yeah. So kept doing it. And you know how I am, like, and how my temper is. And I didn't get like amped up enough to where I'm going to take a swing at him or anything. I just used my words with him. And he said something one day, and I said something really shitty back to him, but it was about his mom, and it struck a nerve with him because like I didn't know, of course. It was unknowing. It's just me saying something like this is a sixth grade. I'm like 12 years old, right? Yeah. So I say something about his mom. Turns out his mom had died of cancer. And it immediately like took him down. And I didn't mean to do it. But after that point, we were totally fine. So
see, but isn't that fucked up though? That's
it is.
That you have to be able to put them in their place with words or physical force or some sort of mean, and all is fine after that. It's almost like a common thing with men. When you put the aggressor in their place, there's a level of respect that immediately follows after that, or they feel like their ego's fractured and like, okay, I'm going to get you back now.
Yeah,
like,
more often than not,
they make a sign to say, "I want to be a Nathan Kennedy."
Yeah, which fucking failed miserably. I'm like, that doesn't even rhyme that good, dude. Like, do better.
No, it doesn't, because what your attempt at making fun of that asshole,
Well, my attempt at making fun of him like worked just because the other people in a public setting noticed it, and they're like, someone's finally making fun of that guy. Like he walks around like he's a shit all the time. Someone decided to like do that because I whatever reasonings for that were, I don't know. Like it's funny to look back at that time period and notice like how much you hope anyway that you've grown like as a person and how you think and everything. Because you and I have talked about this stuff before, how I was in our pecking order of our friend groups that would fracture off from time to time, and then everyone's back together or whatever. Being in the pecking order of that and doing stuff, I've told you, I've said it to Josh, said it to John, I've apologized to everybody, and I'm like, that was just really stupid looking back on it. But I don't know. People are weird and continue to be weird. It's people still do shit like that all the time, even as adults. Adults still bully other adults, and I'm just like, well, that's dumb. I definitely wouldn't. And look at you now. You wouldn't put up with that shit now, Ty. You'd be like, oh yeah.
No, I think the last time I had words with anybody was a guy who was bigger than I was. And
was that at the movie theater?
Oh no, there was that one too. And he was just a big fat dude. Like, he was just tall and fat. And I'm thinking about this guy at the weight club in my gym. Looked like his name would be Rocco from A Prison Yard. And it was just over, a misunderstanding of like weights. He said I was taking his weights and got snappy about it. I said, I didn't know they were your weights. I just threw it right back at him and took the weight anyway. And he was very respectful to me after that. And his son, which at the time I didn't know was his son, he came over and started talking to me about, about the weight club, because he was working at the campus that I take care of. And he goes, yeah, you probably know my dad. Yeah, he's not a very nice guy. He's an asshole. Yeah, it's pretty much what he said. And I'm sure that's what he's referring to, because he was there when me and him butted heads. And but I
how long ago was that?
It's probably within the last, let's see, it's 2016. I'd say probably, God, man, time's gone by. Probably 10 years ago, maybe, or within the last decade, I think. Maybe even just over that. because he was a regular at the gym. And he was like part of this duo of like these power lifter guys, you know, that come in there, and he had like some tats on him and things like that. I mean, he, like I said, he looked a big imposing dude. But after we butted heads, like he was very like, hey, how you doing? That kind of thing with me all the time after that.
Yeah. Actually, no. Actually, you know what? I take that back. There was that one scenario at work where I like took. There was like the tub that had like trash in it. I just dumped it in the floor, and the guy down there that was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "You're the ones doing this shit," and we like yelled at each other. And then after that, I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" It like in the days that followed. So it was like, it's how weird. It's so fucking weird.
Especially when you're not going out looking for trouble. You're minding your own business. You're doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, and someone who clearly doesn't give a fuck calls you out because you're making their job not easy because they can't go out and smoking their fucking cigarette or go jerk off or whatever it is they got to do.
Yeah.
And a little bit of pushback, and they're back in line. You know, I don't understand that, but I'm just thankful at this part of my life. I get so much respect for everywhere I go. People, the way they speak to me, it's always in a manner of high respect.
Would you be ready, like in a snap, if someone was shitty to like throw hands? I feel like at this point I would be, no matter what. But that's just how I am now.
I'd like to think I wouldn't throw hands. It'd be more of like a grapple and put him down to where they could.
Yeah, you would be like a grappler, hold them down kind of thing.
Yeah, the last scuffle I can remember getting into, which was stupid shit. It was more about putting him in a hold and preventing them from being able to do anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, and I never hit my brother like growing up.
Yeah, that's strange to me that you guys never like actually punched each other. You might be the first brothers in history that have never done
I mean, we would like wrestle like roughhouse, but we never like, you know, even Derek. Now Derek pulled a knife on me one time, a kitchen knife. You know,
okay.
He kept trying to. He was upset with me. I think we were wrestling. He got hurt, which was like, oh my god, this happens every fucking time. I want to call mom.
What kind of knife though?
Oh, it was a cutting kitchen knife.
Okay.
Like not a butter knife.
All right.
Like jagged edge and everything.
All right.
And it was all because he kept trying to call mom, and knowing full well mom was not going to do anything. She knows we roughhouse. He gets hurt. He cries and wants to tell mom. But for whatever reason, I was like, I don't want you to call mom and tell on me. I kept taking the phone from him and hanging up. He'd run upstairs and grab that phone. I grabbed the phone and take it from him. I think by the fourth or fifth time, he went, ah! Went and grabbed the kitchen. I pulled it out, looked at me like this, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I ran upstairs. And
I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna send it to him in a message. I'm like, "You remember this?"
Oh, he does.
Okay,
he does. And another clip you can edit into this is that when I went upstairs, I locked my door, and he is ramming into the door.
I like The
with
Shining.
That knife. And then I had a closet door that extended to my mom's bedroom. We had like a big like hallway sharing closet. So he runs and goes to the closet to get there. And I'm barricading myself in there. And he's sitting there. He's like Chucky. He's like, give me the boy. I'll let you live. Do you hear me? Give me the boy. Give me the boy and I'll let you live. Do you hear me? Give me the boy. You know, years after that, he hit that door so hard that the lock would not stay locked.
Oh no!
Like I had to lift the knob up at an angle to fully lock it. He had damaged the locks because he was so fucking mad over it. And he remembers doing it. My mom, like, I remember, I think I called her and said, "Derek's got a knife."
Oh no!
Work. You know,
did she come home?
No, because there's nothing she can do about it at that point. Man. You know,
she's gonna come home and just blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, Derek, what happened? You know, but she was so calm about that. So I remember we were roughhousing, and I think me or Derek fell off the bed, caught our balance, and fell into the door and pushed the doorknob through the wall.
Mm.
And oh my god, mom's gonna kill us.
That's a pretty easy fix.
Well, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we spent the rest of the day dreading telling her, and we called her and confessed. and we just
I
thought
just
like,
would have put a poster over it or something.
yeah, like the map of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. If she said like, well, boys, we only have one house, and if you tear it down, that's all we got. They're like,
Damn.
that's
What
it.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
You got off easy on that.
We did that a lot. It took a lot to piss our mom off.
Very
rarely was she.
But when she gets mad, she's like really mad.
I do remember specifically one time, and she is embarrassed that she reacted this way. It was, we got a bunch of gift certificates for Christmas, and I couldn't find the one that my granddaddy gave me. It was a $50 Walmart gift certificate. It was in the car while we were in the car, and I just couldn't find it. I was driving myself crazy. And Mom was so mad at me for thinking I just lost a $50 gift card. And she was sitting in the front seat. She goes, Tyler, you might as well just flush it down the fucking toilet. And my mom doesn't cuss.
Yeah.
Never. And not only, she went all the way to the moon on that one. And I found it not too long after she said that. And she has always felt bad about losing her cool over that particular day. I still like to make fun of her to this day. But yeah,
man, it's like
toilet,
she wasted her one time dropping the F-bomb on something like that just because you were a dumbass and dropped it right there in the car.
Down below the seat. And I found it within a few minutes of that.
Yeah. Oh man. Sorry, Becky.
Yeah.
Well, before we go to commercial break, we have to give a rating for Duel Devlan. Yeah, so go ahead, Tyler. What do you give it out of 10?
Dial and Mug has always made this a standout episode for me. Yeah, it's got it's light and fluffy issues because of the holding back on the content of like where you could go with this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that She-Ra and the Rebels are written very likable and enjoyable, and Dial and Mug is written to perfection the only time. So I give it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I was debating 7, but I'm going to land on 8. I agree on all points that you said there. I honestly could have done without the breakfast scene. Like, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I get that because it has nothing to do with the story. It doesn't do anything to progress. It's pretty much just showing what the Rebels are kind of doing in their downtime before they start their day. And I have no problem with that because you see a lot of sequences like that in He-Man, too. Like, they're just having court, or Man-at-Arms is in his laboratory and Orko's fucking around or something. Like, has nothing to do with the story itself. You're just kind of seeing what they're doing during the day before the real story kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little extra context of like, you know, what's Prince Adam up to? Oh, Man-at-Arms' latest invention, you know, the shit stain remover.
Yeah, but Dial Mug's a treat. Kristalla's awesome. A lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times with kids, you have to worry they're going to be really annoying.
Yeah, because
she wasn't at all.
Yeah, and a lot of times, bad voice acting or bad dialogue or both do not bode well for a lot of kids and a lot of these episodes. Or hell, even some of the adult characters here are like, oh my god, like what happened? This is a character that has so beautiful, like, has a great purpose, but you're botching it with bad dialogue or bad voice acting. Like, you just aren't trying here, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, but Kristalla was strong. I just running them out of the town just pretty short, and pies and stuff and flour, and no thanks.
I'm not going to try and defend it, you know.
But other than that,
yeah, it should have come down to Dial and Mug and She-Ra in a one-on-one battle, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So I'll stick with my 8. I was still tempted to maybe drop it down to a 7, but I think that would be a little too low because this is a very strong episode despite its flaws. So I'm going to stick with my 8 out of 10.
Okay, well, dude, that's a solid rating, dude.
Yeah,
and like Gene Talker probably say, give it about 3. You know, it's not as good as, you know. Trying to think of like one particular episode he's got a major boner for in She-Ra that because I feel like he's always been like problem with power with him. Like, episode sucks. It's got one great sequence and that's it.
Yeah, and the ratings in the big book here.
He didn't write
those. Yeah. So that's why I didn't read anything in this. So an 8 and an 8.5 for Duel at Devlan. Tyler, let's go ahead. Hit our commercial break, come back, get a little bit of feedback. Got a couple other things to discuss. And probably won't have too much in the extracurriculars after that because we got your a couple of experiences with your brother pulling a knife on you and your mom saying "fuck" for the first time.
Oh yeah. But they make for great stories. We laugh at all that.
Yeah, I'll have to bring that up next if I see.
I would love it
if
you brought it up and see the look on my mom's face.
I'll do that next time I'm around your mom. I'll just be like, I can't believe you said "fuck" over a missing Walmart gift card.
Oh my god, he told you that.
Get a video or something.
My dad dropped a couple of just a phone. I'll end this before we go to a commercial break. And I remember we were driving to Christiansburg on 114. It was common practice for my dad to fart in front of us and even fart and hold on to us. We'd have to smell his fart.
All right.
It smelled like egg salad. Oh my God. That's why I hate egg salad.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. And so farting in front of each other was commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, we're driving. I'm sitting in the front seat. I think I'm looking at a comic book or magazine, and I just let one go. And we're just driving, and suddenly my dad goes, "Well, you're going to roll down the window or let us wallow in your shit." And I'm thinking, like, you fart in front of us, you fart on us all the time. And like, suddenly I have offended you and you cussed at it too? Like, I couldn't believe, you believe I rolled down the window there? And
he must have been having a bad day.
I don't know, man. Like, he was so inconsistent about these spaz outs he'd have.
That's true now to think about it, especially in terms with your VHS.
Yeah, with the movie rentals. He's okay with certain heads being decapitated, other times not. And always saw a boob there. Okay, don't worry about that. Oh my God, why do I got to put this? It was like, you had no idea. Are you going to be okay with this or not? Didn't know what to believe with him. It was
Well, we hope all of you will be okay with these next 3 commercials that I'm going to roll right now.
Stay tuned.
Our urgent mission on Earth is to stop the Munchoids stealing the Happy Meals.
But how?
Listen, guys, we break down into microbots across the galaxy, okay? Then instead of rematerializing big, let's duplicate ourselves.
So that everyone gets one of us in their Happy Meal and we'll beat the Munchoids.
Each week there'll be a different one of us in every McDonald's Happy Meal, and the box will transform too.
Good work, Fry. But hurry, prepare to transfer.
Burger King has been invaded by Alf puppets. Please help.
Hey, I'm hungry. Yo, want a Whopper? No problem.
Just $2.99 and a flame-broiled Whopper or large sandwich gets you your own Alf. 4 different furry aliens. Each comes with his own record.
'Cause we're doing the Melmac Rock.
These aliens are friendly, but they're getting out of hand. Hurry, just $2.99 gets another Alf out of here.
We do it like you do it at Burger King. Where'd you park?
Ghostbusters are back!
And we're the official headquarters. You know what that means.
We're gonna be busy?
You better believe it.
Remember, guys, only we've got what every Ghostbuster wants.
Chicken sticks?
Ghostbusters!
Who are you gonna call?
When you see a ghost, blast.
I don't see any ghosts.
See? It works. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
They're here!
Okay, let's cook.
Collect all 4 Ghost Blasters, only at Hardee's.
And we're back. Let's get into some feedback, Tyler. All of this comes from our premiere chat and our comments that we received on our tier list Wave 3 episode. This first bit here, let me move this, comes from Dr. Alec Court, 1833. Great stuff, guys. Brings back memories. So
Glad to hear that, bud.
Always happy to get when people watch the show. If we take you back or we say a certain thing, or you remember a certain store like Hill's department store or something, takes you down that path. You start thinking about all the toys that you saw, and if you're a little bit older than us, the stuff that you were able to get that we never even really got to see in those aisles. So anytime we do that, thumbs up from us. Casey Duncan, these are fun. Let's go 1984. So,
I dare say probably the greatest decade. Or not, well, obviously greatest decade, but the greatest year of that decade, probably, arguably, because of the movies, what was available, the toys and everything. But then I look at 87. 87 was a big fucking year for movies and toys as well.
I thought you were just going to say, "Oh, because we were born."
No, I'm not that egotistical. I could be, but I'm not. But I mean, yeah, 84 gave us a lot, gave the world a lot of treasures, and you and I were two of them. So.
And speaking of which, going back to what I just mentioned with Alex's comment, Andrew HM5, you said you wish you were older when this wave came out, Tyler. I was born in 1980 and getting these figures and cartoons as they were released. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, how I envy you, man, to be 4 years old and seeing Jitsu, Clawful, Fisto, Webstor, Mechanic, and Cobra Khan and Buzz Off on the shelves. Oh my God, yeah, I'd have lost my shit.
Yeah,
I
would. And just the opportunity that you would have had to not only nab these, but prime slot G.I. Joe stuff coming out at the time.
Oh God, yes.
Thundercats.
Transformers are coming at the same year as 84.
Yeah.
Thundercats comes out the next year in 85. You know, God, dude. And then Bionic 6 and Brave Star not too far after that.
Like, my birthdays and Christmases were fantastic as a kid. Do not get me wrong.
Oh,
but
mine were too.
But if we would have been born 4 years earlier, I can't imagine what they would have been like around this time, like toy-wise. Oh, to try to imagine, because my dad kept the boxes for play sets, all the shit that I could have had still with the box from these toy lines in their prime.
I'm sure your parents would have gotten you a Terradrome. I'm sure you would have had Snake Mountain and Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the flag. The flag's a bit of a stretch.
I don't think.
And I think even the Defiant, the G.I. Joe Defiant, would have been a stretch too.
Yeah, and then even a little bit later, Attorney a playset, I think, wouldn't have happened. I don't know though.
I don't know either.
Fun to think about.
Because even in my heyday of like being old enough to like, okay, I want that toy and that playset. We didn't get playsets that often. You know, they were so other than getting Grayskull and Snake Mountain as hand-me-downs, the only we got the Spider-Man Deadly Bugle playset for Christmas of like 92 or 93. Or probably 90, it would have been 94, excuse me, when the Spider-Man animated series came out. We got that, and my dad got us each the Jurassic Park playset.
Mm-hmm.
But no dinosaurs, but we had the playset. And I used my G.I. Joe to play with that playset. That's what I use. I'm like, that's what I wanted to use. So
you could think up of a scenario that Cobra Commander has. I mean, you kind of, there is that episode where they have the dinosaur, they have the dinosaurs come out. So that totally
and
works.
There was that Dino Hunter like box set of with the vehicle. It was to kind of capitalize on the success of Jurassic Park with G.I. Joe. So but it was just a play set that was kind of slightly in scale with G.I. Joes, and it was just another. We didn't have a G.I. Joe play set of any kind, so that was the G.I. Joe play set for me.
Fuck it, that works.
Yeah.
Ducko 5404. There's something hilariously awesome about Fisto knocking the fuck out of Skeletor.
Yeah, because normally it's just He-Man and Skeletor duking it out, but to see Fisto is like one of the few you feel like, he would knock the fuck out of any of the evil warriors, Yeah,
and it's just the way that it's depicted too. I get the hilarious part of it.
Oh yeah, it's not drawn in the most flattering manner, but it's still fun.
It's still as Ducko said, hilariously.
It packs a punch.
Yeah, Gary Buchanan, NPC forever. Love the banter on some of the other lines you guys champion after our main feature. Can we please do a G.I. Joe Kumite soon properly? By the point that this episode drops, because I haven't put it on the channel while we are recording this, yes, we do have plans to do Kumites for the Terradrome transmission. So, hopefully the response to that first episode on the channel has been great. By the time this is on the channel, that'll already be on there. So fingers crossed that we've been seeing a lot of G.I. Joe stuff in our comments. It's like, it just seems like a good time to do it.
Hopefully it's not crickets and, just another. But we had fun doing it. We have plans for a lot of other stuff.
Like
reviews, and episodes, reviews, and talking about characters and stuff like that. Kumites for sure. So it's you people show up. Let us know you like what you saw. We want to do more of them.
Yeah. So Gary, hope you're excited or enjoyed that first episode of Terradrome Transmission. Brian Clifton, in reference to my comment, and this is going back to those Udon Street Fighter books, Udon has been doing Street Fighter comics for over 20 years. There is some that are hit or miss. They are approved by Capcom. They had several miniseries, and lately they've been doing character one-shot specials, some better than others. The best stuff is their earliest stuff. They stay with and expand the known lore. So found a way to come across those, so I will get those. I'll get a chunk of them to Tyler, and we'll try to get some of those read and give thoughts on those, because I think it's like the second or third week that we've been kind of talking about Street Fighter comics. And Street Fighter is a property I think could work, or clearly does work very well in comic book form. It's been going on this long, so yeah, we need to dive in and check that out.
I think both that and Mortal Kombat both, which I know I don't think Mortal Kombat's had a comic book run since the 90s, like with Malibu Comics. And looking back at it, like it was like, oh my god, this art's so great and these stories are great. And like, I think when I went back and read some of them, like it's kind of clunky and not very good, but it was so eager to have anything, and they were hard to come by. Street Fighter comics and Mortal Kombat comics, they weren't available at your spinner rack at your local grocery store at the 7-Eleven. Like I just had to come across them at comic shops, and you didn't get to go in there all the time, so they were hard to come by.
Drawing by hand, a Meganet Orko web sword masterpiece for me. Great art of whiplash and jitsu on card backs. With the power sword, if Mumra finds out the secret of the power sword, it can only be used for good, not evil. In Mask of Power episode, He-Man's sword joined forces with the Sword of Ancients, which can only be used for good, which Skeletor tried to take. I'm a fan of Rambo here in the UK. 1 to 4 are great, and I never saw 5. I just picked up the G.I. Joe Compendium 3, which came out, and I'll be reading that shortly. So, Rambo Last Blood's actually pretty good.
I fucking love Last Blood.
I recommend
I don't know why people think it's a mean-spirited movie, or it's just, it's propaganda against Hispanic people. Or like, I don't see it as that at all. I think I like it better than 4. If I'm being honest, like I just feel like
Last Blood has more of a gut punch to it, because there's more of a connection with Rambo and the other characters in that movie. With 4, it's just him helping out these stupid ass people that are like, we're gonna go push our religion on these guys. I don't know why. Nothing bad will happen to us, right? And he's got to come out and fucking rescue everybody.
Yeah, and it's more of him working with the team of mercenaries as opposed to him doing what he does best.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I still like Rambo 4, and it's got moments in it that are a lot of like, holy shit, okay.
Oh yeah, but it's not a movie I go back and like I saw it, I think 4 times in theaters. I was so happy the new Rambo movie was coming out, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it and bought it and watched it. But I haven't watched it in years just because I'm like, I don't, it's all about 2 and 1, and it oftentimes 3. And I do genuinely like Last Blood a lot. I need to watch Last Blood again. Actually, I need to just watch all the Rambo movies again. I'm long overdue to just read, because I love them, all of them. Like, I don't think that there's not a bad installment in all 5 of them, not one.
No, and you can't say that for Rocky.
No. I mean, 5 sucks balls.
Yeah. So, in that regard, I guess you kind of have to put Rambo over Rocky in terms of overall quality.
Well, I would, just because Rambo was the first one, like the first character Stallone's that I came in contact with, like the cartoon and then the movie kind of went hand in hand at the same time. So I didn't watch Rocky till I think I was in my early teens. I thought boxing was stupid. And I thought Rambo was the coolest fucking guy on the planet. I just like this is unbelievable. The cartoon and 1 and 2 is, oh my God, this is just.
So I guess you don't really have much use for that new 4K set that came out then, right? I've
got 1, 2, and 3 in 4K, and I've got Last Blood. I think it's just Blu-ray. I don't think it's a 4K release. And I've got Rambo 4 in Blu-ray too. So I've got 1, 2, and 3 in 4K. So I don't think they announced anything new at the set. I would prefer the new retrospect, because it's just a bunch of British people taking the piss out of Rambo. I specifically, let me give this one more try. And I'm watching the documentary on First Blood, this new one, where they have people who worked on the movie, David Murray, who wrote the book, and these various British critics. And at first they're speaking very kind and serious about it, and then they start taking the piss out of the characters, as if like a guy taking all these people all by himself, thinking, what the fuck does James Bond do, asshole?
Yeah, but James Bond is great too.
World in every fucking movie. One guy. And yet you guys look at Stallone, one guy going into a Vietnam camp, taking out everybody all by himself. This is preposterous, man. And they just start laughing and making fun of it. I'm like, what the fuck? fuck is wrong with you people? And you guys like are just sucking the balls of James Bond, which yes, James Bond's great, but it's the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Except he does it all in a posh suit. He's not running around with a shirt off and a headband and a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
What difference is it? And like, I would love to call out all those fuckers, you know. And I'm like, and I'm quite certain James is not that way. But I'm like, what is it with the Brits? And thinking that, you know, action heroes in America, the big muscle guys, like they're ridiculous, and you know, like all posh and shit like that. Like they're all like watching this with their monocle, you know, and their top hat and their canes, and just acting all like snobbish about it. Like, this isn't Bond, you know, like, yeah, no shit, you know.
But Bond is great. We have to stress that.
No, that's what I'm
saying. I love James Bond movies.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you think James Bond doing the exact same thing is wonderful, and this is kick ass. I buy this, but I don't buy Stallone breaking into a Vietnam camp and saying prisoners of war. That's ridiculous. One man doing all that? No.
I don't know. I don't know if
Robert De Niro.
If I'll pick up that 4K, because I have them all on Blu-ray. I think I have Last Blood digitally. I have them all on Blu-ray. I don't know. Maybe I will at some point if the price drops. And then, hey, once again, G.I. Joe making its way into the conversation, picking up volume 3 of the compendium. I will get that. I'll get that when it drops in price a little bit more, because I think right now on Amazon it's like $50.
It's a lot higher than the. I'm like, what is that about?
Well, I mean, it could be a thing too with just the state of the world and the prices of everything going up. That could be some, but I might wait for a price drop on that solely because I need to work my way through the first 2, which I'm going to do after I finish watching the Sunbow Marvel cartoon. I only have 13 episodes left. I think after I finish that, though, I might watch the movie again just to do it. And then,
the movie's fun. It's a beautifully animated movie, good voice acting, good stuff. You just have to accept it as like, okay, this is this random,
just as I did as a kid.
It's not the movie as I told you the other day. It's not the movie that we're kind of setting the stage for. It's completely all out of left field.
Absolutely, and I'm not going to talk too much more about G.I. Joe because we need to save that for the episode 2 of Terrordrome. Johnny Cock. I second the Udon Street Fighter comics. They maintain a standard for the artists that they use for their interior pages, and most of them have a certain kinetic energy to their work, which is perfect for martial arts. If the art doesn't work for you, it's a difference of preference and taste, not because you question if the artist doesn't yet have the skill set, phoned it in, or was rushed like so many other books make you question nowadays when they don't get an A-lister on it. So yes, I will read some of those Street Fighter comics.
It sounds like they care about quality and maintaining constant credentials as well, which is something has always been a big turnoff for the current Marvel stuff. Is you know, I know they want people who can turn out books quickly, but I'm like, man, they were doing that back in the 90s and in the 70s and the 60s, and the quality was there for years and years and years. Like, why is today, you know, people are doing stuff digitally?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to say that doesn't require talent too, but why do you feel like the art has to suffer? And I'm like, I'm sure it comes down to this. I don't have to pay you that much.
Mm-hmm.
You're not that talented, but you're just happy to do a book.
Yeah.
So you'll take this and you'll turn it in.
And you will like it.
When I see the modern stuff that pops up on the Marvel Unlimited app, I look at this stuff like, oh my God, look at this stuff. It looks fucking ugly and cheap. It just doesn't look appealing. It doesn't make me like, what is that about?
Mm-hmm.
You know, on occasion I'll stumble across a slight in the modern book where the interior art goes, okay, this looks pretty good. And then the story sucks balls. And I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm going to go read something from the 80s. And, you know, or you know, anything that's like 20 years before this bullshit. But I find that DC has better modern artists. I think when I dabble in some of the more modern books that DC puts out than Marvel's just looks, oh God, just looks like it's meant for babies.
This comes from the premiere chat of the Prince Adam No More Filmation episode review. So Johnny was back in here, says, good news, there are no Keldor flashbacks where there might be a blue Leto face in the movie.
Oh, God.
I know, I'm not trying to get Tyler on the movie, but here you go. I think Beastman gets picked on the most because he probably forgives Skeletor the quickest, falls back in line quickly.
That would make some sense, and they've been working together the longest. I think probably more than any of them. I've always felt like Beastman was the first henchman that Skeletor acquired. Like, I want you to work, be amongst, my many legions of warriors, and you'll be my first, and being the most loyal and yeah, probably the most forgiving. But I still, and James will even attest to this too, like those moments where Beastman will speak quietly, like, someday you won't order me around forever, Skeletor, like that kind of Starscream edge of like wanting to stab the leader in the back. But whereas Starscream is just so vocal about wanting to fuck, Megatron over, Beastman is like, I just want your respect. Like, I'll do anything you ask, but don't treat me like I'm Panther shit on your boot heel. Like, it's like I'll tear out people's throats, and I'll beat the shit out of whoever you want, but don't order me around like I'm less than.
Yeah.
I think that's his biggest thing, and with good reason, because when he does make those comments, it's almost like he, it's like, or other times he relishes that Skeletor is not succeeding, and will even kind of poke fun of him. Like, I think of Colossal Awakes. That's a prime example of both, where Beastman is like making fun of Skeletor for not being successful, and also like quietly like, I'm not going to take your shit forever.
Very Destro-esque in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like Cobra Commander sees Destro as an equal, but doesn't respect him enough to like, look, because his ego is out of control.
Yeah.
Whereas Destro is more reserved with his ego. Yeah, Destro's got an ego by far.
Well, absolutely, but he's smarter.
Yeah.
And he
doesn't panic yet, whereas Cobra Commander wants it done a certain way. If it goes off the rails,
calm, cool, collected. Yeah, I mean, that's why, honestly, out of like Destro is my favorite of the bunch. Just because,
I think you meet him in person, then he doesn't maintain composure at all.
The girls. Johnny goes on to say, I really like you guys going through the whole episode in its entirety, closest I get to story time in my adult life.
I'm glad you say that, Johnny, which shows that what we're doing right now is better than what we were doing before. Yeah. And being
it just works for this because we did just that very thing with Duel at Devlan.
Yeah, it's commentaries are fun. And maybe someday me and Nathan will go back to doing this from time to time, like a random one, but being able to stop and focus on every single moment, as opposed to it going past us as we're talking. Like, you don't have enough time to focus, because the next thing you know, the second act is already undergone. Like, we're still talking about the first quarter of the first act.
It's better this way, just to go slower through it, so we really can pinpoint. And there are times we'll double back to certain things, but as Tyler said, I remember a bunch of times, Dwayne, was just you and I doing capes and commentaries and things where we're trying to talk and we get on a tangent about a thing, and then before you know it, 10 more minutes have gone by in a 22-minute episode, and then you're like, well, there was this and that, and then it's over. So like watch-alongs and that kind of thing are fun from time to time, but I like the format better of just, we can really break it down step by step as we're going through the episode. So
and the episode can breathe amongst us and the listeners and the watchers, as and not just be this rush segment. I mean, really break down this moment and get time to like flesh up what you and I both think about this, and even give the listeners like a chance. Okay, that is a good point. I didn't think about that.
Or just simply describe it beat by beat. Then this is going on in the story now, and then we're back to this. What do you think of it? Yeah, so it's just covering all of it in a better way.
Yeah. Gives us a chance to be I want through a conversation about He-Man, and this gives us really the best opportunity to do that, and not feel like we got to hurry up and rush it to catch up with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Then goes on to say, imagine if Randor is out there selling protection and collecting taxes.
I think he'd be he wouldn't be King Randor.
Yeah, but we kind of, I brought it up. If there's like some sort of seedy shit going on that could be happening that Randor could be pulling. Like, I just can't imagine it's all sunshine and rainbows in that regard, Like, there's got to be something. It's like he's going to all these other various places. Sure, going here and going here could be these. The king is here. Look at me. I'm showing my face. Let me give you a good speech. I'm out of town. But maybe some other shit is like behind closed doors. We're doing this so we can set this up. And yeah, like there may be some sacrifices to be made within your town for this, but think about the future. You know, like it's just shit like that.
It's very possible. I just, when he says royal tour, like that to me doesn't come off like we're going around and imposing some new taxes, or we have to raise taxes because of, you know, fish are becoming more and more expensive because the boats are costing more to get out there and whatever. And I think it just means like a goodwill tour, which I'm sure money does come into play, because it's going to cost money to help finance man-at-arms projects of attack tracks, sky sleds, wind raiders that get damaged. All that stuff's going to cost money to fix all those things, to get all the supplies and things like that.
And not only that, all the shit that gets destroyed by Skeletor and the evil warriors along the way as well. I think about this a lot too when I'm watching G.I. Joe. And they even have an episode where they're talking about like they're spending too much in the budget and all this money and da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm glad that they brought that up, because that's shit I'm thinking about. It's like all these planes and things are getting destroyed. It's like, well, there's how many $1 million is that? What's going on here? So it's cool that they bring that up. But yeah, it's kids' cartoons, so
you don't have time, because that's like you're going into Phantom Menace territory. We're talking about taxation and trade routes and all that bullshit.
And yeah, you got to keep it fun and fluffy, but it's fun to think about with the adult brain to dig in that deep with.
Oh yeah, I mean this is the appropriate platform to do that, not in a 22-minute episode.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not saying, damn it, you know,
no.
These kids
now,
cartoon we need to talk about
done today by competent minds. Then yeah, I could see them working in moments where King Randall is like, you know, having a moment to flesh out his character, that he, not just make him a hard ass on Adam doing the whole like, oh, you disappoint me over and over and over again, like dealing with the hardships of like what a king has got to go through, like still trying to maintain like, I don't want to be a tyrant. That's not what I'm about. I know who tyrants are. And that's why you should see characters like Neptune, you know, which I still want us to cover at some point, of like recreating him as this evil Egyptian tyrant with the magical powers of the Sun Scarab, and like wanting to expand and threaten King Randor. And
well, you don't like the idea that's just some rando guy that stumbles across a thing. And
I'll never forget Scott and Alex saying, "There's a fan base for Neptune out there." I'm telling you, that's why I made that figure. Like,
did I think I joked about I was going to buy Neptune, and I can't remember if I did or.
Which I could see. I was so pissed when that figure. I hated that figure coming out, because he came in like one of those times where like, oh my God, like Scott's like, the line's going to end. You guys got to buy one of them figures. By the way, here's Neptune. And everyone was so pissed about that. Even Val was like, why did you put him in this line? And Scott was like, well, there's a fan base for him. Because where do you see a fan base at for this character in an episode that is, it's a shitty episode. And at the time I was like, this guy is a fucking terrible character. But me wanting to be more like, okay, if I look at this, kill the poor schmuck stumbling across, you know, the Sun Scarab. Make this guy an asshole from the beginning, like a real tyrant. You know, like I have a mini comic cover idea too of establishing him as one of the main. Like, go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Was your mind turning in the sense that you could do it in the vein of, it's going to be like a weird combination here of just like the modern mummy movies where it's like it is a mummy, but this guy, like he's brought back to life essentially, and nothing like that. Okay,
no, nothing like that. I wanted him to, like, from the ground up, be someone who took over the Temple of the Sun and made it like his that is the center of his kingdom in the sands of time, looking to expand outside the sands of time. You know, rules with an iron fist, without the fear of the Sun Scarab, loyal servants and followers, beautiful women, and sees everybody as a threat to him. Like, I'm better than Skeletor. I'm better than Randor. Like, I don't care who you are. I want to take over this planet, because in his mind, his ego is so out of control. Like he deals in magic. He deals with in physical combat, and wanting his servants to be loyal and abiding to him. And my idea was that He-Man and Triclops get captured by him and have to work together to break out, and it sort of be called Alliance of Adversaries. And because Triclops, I've always seen as that one guy that would respect He-Man, and even in that moment, like would not turn on him in that moment, like leave He-Man behind. Like if He-Man was like trying to push open something, so they both could get out, and Triclops gets out first, and then would leave. Like that's something Trapjaw or Beastman would do.
You tease it, but then make sure it's like, yeah, not last minute, but kind of tease he's going to, but then he doesn't. Like you expect it, and then you just see like maybe his hand come underneath as it's.
I in that situation, like they would meet in a confrontation, and then they would both end up being captured by Nepthu.
Should we be saving this for when we actually talk about Nepthu and everything? Do the episode now.
I don't know at what point we're going to sit this. Okay, this week we're going to talk about Nepthu, but and I guess we could do like a Temple of Darkness and Temple of the Sun mini comic and episode comparison, much like we do with Tale of Two Cities and Slave City. But I know I mentioned an episode of Fans of Power a while back where I was really wanting to reinvent the character and just maybe tone it down just a little bit. But
I mean, I'd say we do that. We just call it like I don't know, give it some like reinventing Neptune, like give it some.
Because it's I tried again rewatching the episode because I was really gearing up thinking about I was going to make that like a possible next Kevin Sharp mini comic idea. And I'm like watching this episode, like, God, this episode fucking sucks. But I look at this character, he's got a great look.
Yeah, he looks awesome, man. Yeah,
and I'm like, had no backstory of like him being this like, oh, I need water, and comes across the sun scarab, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna stand around and just bark orders at nothing.
I understand.
Make him create his own kingdom with these beautiful women, like an evil sorceress on his side, and these loyal like Egyptian warriors that are modeled after like Egyptian mythology, and just have them, just standing in kind of think like Stargate, but with more fantasy based as opposed to more sci-fi based.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember the names of like the Egyptian gods, but like his henchmen would be based off like the Egyptian gods.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what some of the ones in particular because I had
they're like wearing the masks and stuff.
Well, the masks are actually their heads. Like
all right.
You see like the various creatures like Anubis and I forgot the crocodiles like the god of the water or something like that, but they're actual like a jackal being, a crocodile being. But they have an Egyptian motif to them, and he would have this inner circle of these henchmen based on those that would be like his evil warrior gang, so to speak, that Triclops and He-Man would have to overcome to break out together and put aside their differences. And I wouldn't like only when they realized they had to work together show a hint of like Triclops being apprehended, but like where he's apprehensive only for a moment. Because I really want to play up the fact of like, okay, they are going to work together wholeheartedly. They're going to be fighting back to back. They're going to get out of here together. But once they're out, like Triclops severs the alliance because like, look, my allegiance was Skeletor. I respect you. And that's why I'm not going to try and fight you after I've been through all this with you. I'm going to walk away.
It could be very similar to at the end of it, He-Man saying like you would make a great heroic warrior, and him saying like I can't do that. That's something we need to workshop.
Yeah,
we keep talking about
love to do that, but do not make him a good guy. Like you tease the audience with it, but you never go through with it because I don't want these guys to be like, he was that cliche thing of like he used to be a bad guy, now he's a good guy.
Well, we've kind of given you a good portion of this inevitable down the road Neptune discussion. I will ask this before we dive back into the premiere chat stuff that we had on Prince Adam No More. In regards to Neptune, though, talking about Sands of Time, this might be a really stupid question, but I'm thinking in terms of like age-wise for Neptune. Is he kind of predating a lot of stuff, and the Sands of Time have kind of slowed down aging process? So he's sort of been off here in this area and has the time is different there. So like because I'm thinking about that, because you think about like Egyptian stuff, everything, when we often think of that setting, it's normally like this was long, long ago. Would you kind of work that with he was here long before this stuff, but because of this, sands of time, he's managed to maintain this. He's not aged that much at all, and then you work him into the present day attorney kind of thing, or like how the schematics of that. I'm very curious about.
I was thinking more along the lines of like how Castle Grayskull is established as this forgotten fortress for the longest time until it's time for He-Man and She-Ra to come along. Like there's until Skeletor shows up and sees this planet for the taking, that's when Castle Grayskull becomes of great significance, because there's no massive evil on the planet at that point. Like you have evil over time, but it's either been forgotten evil or evil that has not it doesn't have the ambition enough or even the awareness of like what Castle Grayskull is. Like I just want to loot and plunder and take over. I wanted the Temple of the Sun to be remnants of days of old, like maybe not quite Preternia days, but somewhere in between, a temple that was a great place of prosperity and positivity, and it's forgotten. And this guy Netflix just comes along and decides to take this forgotten temple, make it his home, and much like a Jonestown, like not getting people to drink Kool-Aid, but manipulates people. It works people into buying into his bullshit, and then takes them over and makes them all live in fear of him, or they buy into his philosophy, much like how Skeletor has talked Beastman, Triclops, Trapjaw, Merman, even to all buy into what he's after. But this is a human. He's not a demon from another dimension. This is a guy that has a device, scares everybody with the Sun Scarab, is not afraid to punish and take life. And I guess that
could have like a good, like, deeper meaning in how my brain is thinking of how I often regard religion being used as a fear tactic. You can see that being easily applicable, like applied. I can never say that word, applied to Neptune in that regard. The way that you are mentioning it, that you're talking about like Jonestown and shit. I'm like, yeah, you could definitely take that and strum it up that way. We got to stop talking Neptune. I want to save this when we actually do it.
Look at that guy, and I see this visual, like John Buscema wise. You know that great image of Loki that he drew in Silver Surfer number 3? Where he's sitting in his throne contemplating.
Yep.
I see Netflix sitting on this Egyptian throne with this beautiful Egyptian like sorceress at his side, and he's looking at Triclops and He-Man captured.
There's always a one. If she's not in distress, she's looking sexy behind the villain.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, Kevin draws some of the best ones I've ever seen, and
I agree with that. I'm not going to share it on this particular episode because we're saving it for next week's episode. Yeah. But yes, there's a particular illustration Kevin just finished up. Tyler sent it to me yesterday. I think it's his best work yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Fucking phenomenal, man. And you can see a lot of where the inspiration of that came to. But let's. I want to say we can't divulge more on Neptune.
We'll just put that on our list of topics, and we will plan to
plan for us to regurgitate some more of what you just heard when we discussed Neptune. Down a few weeks, a couple months, we shall see. But
yeah.
Johnny Cock and Casey Duncan had a little bit of a conversation here. Johnny saying, I was in Toys R Us last week because he's in Canada, so they still have those up there.
Oh, okay.
And there's a Pet Rock kit. And I was like, what the? Pet Rocks, that's like the dumbest shit. I get its popularity when it came
in the 70s.
I know, but it's fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's the dumbest shit. Yeah, rocks are free. You can go, I could go in the driveway right now and get a big fucking rock and be like, here you go. This is Travis. Look at him. Watch him point with his baseball.
Watch him travel.
Yeah. Watch him turn into ice. Anyway, Casey Duncan then goes on to say that's a must buy. And then Johnny saying, nah, Casey, I bought my nephew a Marble Rush Spider-Man set instead. And then Casey said, I can't stop buying Hot Wheels. I didn't jump into this at any point, but I wanted to ask, why Hot Wheels? Like, I kind of get the appeal to it, but to me, that just seems like dudes in their mid-50s and 60s hanging out at Walmart's waiting for them to open up the case and throw them on the shelf so they can pick through them all.
I know what my buddy Brad, his son collects Hot Wheels and baseball cards. Like and Hot Wheels are like a hot commodity. Like there's some that cost a lot of fucking money.
I don't get it. I never got it. I was never big into Hot Wheels ever.
I mean, as a kid, like playing with Matchbox and Hot Wheels, that's as far as it got. But I wasn't into collecting them. But much like sports cars, man, there are Hot Wheels like certain like cars that are just made like a certain amount of numbers, certain variants, and they cost a lot of fucking money, man. There are serious buyers for Hot Wheels, dude. Like no joke, man. I mean, like Kroger exclusives, like because Kroger's they sell Hot Wheels, and you got guys going in there and digging through those boxes when they come in.
Aside from a couple of things that they've done, like Thundercat stuff and Master Universe stuff.
Oh yeah, which are cool.
The only one that I have, it's sitting actually right here at the desk.
I knew it. Yep. My cuts, the Dumb and Dumber van.
Yeah, I had to have this. So you
don't have Ecto 1? Because I got Ecto 1 about Hot Wheels.
I have an Ecto 1 somewhere. It's still.
And I know they did the Miami Vice. I think it was the Daytona Spider. They may have done the Ferrari Testarossa too. Both
if you look those up, those are kind of pricey.
Yeah, and I know they would, and I just couldn't never found them at the time.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I'd love to have the Miami Vice cars and Hot Wheels.
I would get those.
Yeah,
but I just have no interest.
I feel like if they were movie-related cars, like obviously they've done the Batmobile, like the '60s Batmobile. They've done the '89 Batmobile.
They've done all the Batmobiles, man.
Yeah, I mean those, I would be all about that. And other movie-related cars, from Ghostbusters, like the Ecto 1 and then Ecto, 2 from Ghostbusters 2 would be awesome to have, with all the extra little lights and things that are on display on top of the cab there, but. Yeah, actual Hot Wheels themselves, like I enjoyed them as a kid. I had ones I really liked a lot, but I just, but I guess the same thing as we collect action figures. Some guys collect cars. Some people still like to collect sports trading cards, and they cost a small fortune today too to buy one box of cards.
Yeah, oh man. So I have a shitload of baseball cards, football, basketball. Lots of rookie cards. They're all packed away somewhere because I was big into that when I was a kid. Dad and I collected that. And speaking of my dad, he also, I don't think he's been buying them as much lately, but he has a shitload of Hot Wheels. I was like, Dad, we got to get that garage built in the backyard for you. That way you can just have like a space.
Absolutely, dude.
You could just peg all. You could just get one of those
pen boards.
Yeah, there you go, and just. Nothing but hot, because he's got a shitload of Hot Wheels, and I think they're all
on display.
Well, Mom's got all of her frou-frou shit in the house, so there you go.
We're gonna go make a stand.
yeah, I'm sure Mom would be like,
you know what? I won't even take my shoes off when I walk in.
She'll just have a bag of carrots, and you'll be like, all right,
I'm out. Okay. All right, Nathan, you're on your own. Sorry, George.
That video that I had Mom.
Oh yeah,
where they were having roast. Yeah, it's like time to come over eat some damn carrots. But Johnny went to say in response to Casey, "Hey, as long as you're not picking fights in Target," and then Johnny saying, "Or keeping all the Pokemon cards away from the kids." Have you seen all this shit where like adults are going in for these Pokemon cards at like Target and various places and just buying them all up, and then kids will go and don't have anything to buy? Like, it's such a shitty thing. Scalpers suck. As Tyler said, scalpers are Nazis, and
they are the Nazis. Suck. They're modern day Nazis, man. As Indy says, I fucking hate these guys.
Well, there's also actual modern day ones around too, but yeah.
But in terms of like the collecting, it's scalpers, because it's all about I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 in the morning and go out and just grab everything I can.
I'm going to go stand in line and bust through Target when they open up and take all the cards. And then finally, I'm Oliver Belmont. Once again, I have faith in the new He-Man film. It'll make 80s Gen X dads say 4 words: I have the power. The new Master of the Universe merchandise is now sought after, from its toys, new power sword, and the popcorn buckets. I will disagree in being sought after, because I saw the end cap at Target with the new movie stuff, and it looked like none of it had moved. So I don't know,
Oliver. I can appreciate your optimism, man, but
appreciate the optimism and enthusiasm. Go watch it. Hope you enjoy it.
But when you say hope you enjoy it, put it into Weird Al. Hope you enjoy it.
Do it again. I put that on.
Do it for this, because I want that movie to crash and burn and be buried 6 feet under, and then I'll go take a big shit, on the remains.
Hope you enjoy it.
And just like, oh, that was great.
Yeah.
As of this recording, I mentioned it earlier that we're 6 days away. Actually, less than that because they're doing the preview screenings, I think, like Wednesday night. So we're only a few days away from this movie coming out.
Hope you enjoyed jokes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see it, but I will go prepared with a quick stop by the liquor store for some airplane bottles to dump into my $75 concession drink. Maybe I'll get the Will Rogers box.
Yeah.
I'll sit down after I spend $150 on that with my candy.
Make sure you get the bucket. You take a big shit in it when you're done too, and leave it in the theater. Or when you're done, tell me. I'll go in and I'll shit in it too.
Maybe
throw it at the screen.
Maybe after I've seen it, which if I do,
you going next weekend?
Maybe. I don't know yet. I guess it. we can't be friends anymore, huh? I don't know. If it'll be...
I'm, James and Tom and you and I'm sure others. Like, I'm not going to denounce anyone from going to see it. I'm just,
yeah. I mean,
I just feel like you're not getting a He-Man movie. You're getting Guardians of the Galaxy with a He-Man title slapped on it. That is it. You're not getting the secret identity struggle and the responsibility. You're getting references to modern day He-Man. Adam talking about fucking vodka. Like, you're not getting the movie that the mythology deserves. You're just getting something. Well, we could turn this into a shitty franchise. People like them Guardian movies that dumbass James Gunn keeps making because he's doing it with DC. It's all fucking misfits. It's all about the misfits. Fuck you, James Gunn, and fuck you, Adam Knight or Travis Knight. He's the director of this movie. Fuck him. And everybody involved. Even the boy, the key grips and best boys. Fuck all you guys. Everybody. Amazon, MGM, fuck you guys too. If you had that shit in it right now.
I love the fact that this episode is going to come out after the movie's already been released as well. So I'm going to be kind of talking in past tense here that I thought about potentially if I do go and see it next weekend or something that I might, because we haven't done one of those in a while, maybe go live stream route and just talk about the movie and see if anyone else has seen it in the live chat or whatever. So this will be funny to watch back in hindsight, or you guys watching it now. Tyler saying all that stuff. It turns out this movie's the biggest grossing film of 2026. Wouldn't that be some shit?
I'll just go crawl over here to the bridge and
that's all, folks.
That's you're on your own, Nathan. You can do Master Powercast on your own because I don't want to be in a world where that movie's like, oh my god. We're bringing Scott Kelly back. He's going to team up with Rob David and Ted Biaselli. We're going to reunite,
But Tyler, you can't do that yet because we're going to be at Motu.
I got to wait till I show up there at least.
Yeah, we're going to be at Motu Fest September 12th and 13th in the greater Cincinnati area. So if you want some more information on that to see the guest list, ticket pricing, where you can book your hotel room, link will be down below, thepowercon.com. Come see us and hopefully, I guess I could weekend at Bernie's you.
Yeah, you just carry around my corpse and
that'd be hard, man. You're big dude. That's a lot of dead weight.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be very easy to get around.
I might need some help. James,
put me
get over here.
And I'll just be drooling the whole time.
You'll be like Linda McMahon in the build-up to Mania 17.
And then when the fan comes over the table, I really love the new movie. I get him.
You stand up and kick him in the nuts.
Yeah. You're like, oh my god, everybody, he's back!
Yeah, you get a big pop, just like Linda did.
Yeah, and I'll play her shitty entrance music too.
Her music was the old WrestleMania theme. Like
it was the WrestleMania 9 theme, wasn't it?
They kind of used it for WrestleMania for the new generation era.
It fucking sucked. I hated that theme.
You didn't like that?
No, not at all.
You didn't like that?
No, if it's the one I'm thinking of, like, no, not at all. It was
I don't think you have the right theme then.
I remember the music it came out to, and I remember it being the theme for like.
Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like I might not be.
It was a shitty theme, man. Because I think it was for. I could have sworn I thought it was for like WrestleMania, like 8, 9, and 10. I thought, or 8 and 9. I think, at least.
I mean, 9 is a shitty.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
But that whole like. She's catatonic.
Caesar's Palace. Hogan shows up and wins the belt, brother. And Bret Hart's just like, defend my honor. Go beat Yokozuna. What a bunch of bullshit.
Even as a kid, when I saw that, and I was like,
that sucked, man.
I didn't like it. I was like, this is pretty lame.
And then the fact after he wins it, Hogan holds the belt up and does the thing with his chin. I'm like, fuck you. You politicking piece of shit.
Yeah. Just for him to hold it till King in the Ring.
And then bounce.
Yeah, and there's still like even when Bruce Pritchard was asked about it, I've gone back and listened to it so many times. There's no logic at all for why that happened. If Hogan was on his way out of the company in just a couple months, but we're going to put the belt on him, for a European tour because they felt Hogan was going to draw.
Bret was a big draw.
He was a big draw in Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and there were for dates that Hogan wasn't even on.
I haven't watched the Netflix doc yet, but I want to watch it on him strictly just for the Bret Hart stuff. Where he's like, yeah, that guy was a piece of shit. I love
says that about everybody.
I know, I love him.
Everyone's a piece of shit in Bret Hart's eyes.
I love him.
Definitely one of the best wrestlers, if not the best in-ring wrestler of all time. Yeah. But I'm like, my God, are you happy about anything in your career? Like, is everyone just like, he did like 1 out of 10 promo. He's okay in the ring. 1 out of 10 in the ring. Yeah, just everything with him.
Glad I still kept that. But yeah, if you want to see me weekend at Bernie's, Tyler around in September 12th and the 13th, come to Cincinnati and come check us out at Motu-Fest, thepowercon.com. One last thing I want to show off because it's something we talked about a couple weeks ago, and I finally got some confirmation on it because I'm like, it looks like this, and you're like, oh, that's great if they do that, and I'm like, I'm not sure. That Origin slime pit, yes, it does indeed light up, which is a cool feature. You see the depth there with the 5.5 inch scale Origins figure. So it's nice, it's big. I don't know. I guess that's the other thing too. If there is that molded piece of slime that goes on top of them, which would make sense because you and I were discussing this during our ad break, or maybe before we even started recording. This whole thing is like you want. Just keep it the vintage where it comes up and pins.
The track claw hand that comes up from the bottom to hold you in place. Those clunky hands that come out from the back just look goofy as shit.
Yeah.
It's so and to think that we got to light up at the bottom. Well, the hand could be right there at the bottom of the back base there to hold the character in place. Like you still can make that work very easily.
Mm-hmm. But
the brain trust over there, they still want to give like the beast monster fucking legs and comes out walking on it. Just they're making all these additions to vintage things. Like, what are you doing fucking it up? It was fine as is. You can make it a little bit bigger or enhance a couple little details, but you guys are just constantly adding stuff that just doesn't need to be changed anyway. Fucking morons. And they just keep doing it over and over again. It is come up with Expandor.
Yeah. Which, if you watched our episode, you saw how our initial thoughts on that. I hope you got a good laugh out of that one. But Tyler, before you get too angry, and
that's too late for that.
Yeah, that's true. We are
sailed.
We are well past your bedtime as well. But let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up. I hope everyone enjoyed us discussing Duel at Devlan. Leave a comment down below. Give us your rating of this. Let us know if your sibling ever pulled a knife on you, or times that your mom has cussed in front of you if she wasn't a big cusser, and just let us know all those details down below in your life, because why not, right? Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and until later, let the power return.
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains in. I'm going to bash them right the fuck in.
Oh, God.
This was you at work last week. I'm quoting you from work last week.
Yeah, The Shining.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Nathan to say, yeah, I said this to some idiot at work. Give it time. Give it time.
No, I'm writing this timestamp down because we're going to cut in the GIF of the
oh, yeah.
there. Yeah, that's me. That's me at work. most days.
Yeah.
Well,
from now on, it will be. We have it's the poster boy for Nathan at work.
Yeah, and also too, if anyone was wondering, because you're probably like, why? What the hell is your shirt? Stone Cold Steve Buscemi. It's like probably the dumbest shirt I own. I just
next to Burger Thing.
That is pretty fucking stupid. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for your time.
About that. Yeah, what? Terrific. Huh? I'm a person too, Pop. Goddammit, I'm a person too.
You're a moron.